The governor released his budget proposal, and it includes some very steep cuts, but Republicans say it is necessary to balance the budget.
Joining us this morning to talk about it is Assembly Democrat Kelda Royce and Assembly Republican Joan Ballweg. And Representative Ballweg, maybe we'll start with you. What is your impression of the governor's proposal?
Well, I think it's exactly what the governor and Republicans around Wisconsin campaigned on this past year, that we were going to have to make the tough choices to get our fiscal house in order. And the citizens of Wisconsin did elect Governor Walker and did put Republicans in the majority in both houses. And we're following through with our promises.
And your impressions, Representative?
Well, I'm gravely concerned that this budget will devastate working families when it gives away corporate tax breaks at the expense of our schools and our social services. We've never seen cuts like this to education. $900 million coming out of our classrooms, and there's simply no way to make that up.
Representative Ballweg, this budget will lead to mass layoffs. How do you justify this to your constituents?
Well, first of all, we're trying to get this budget repair bill completed, and Governor Walker has put forward the tools for local municipalities and school districts with the money savings from the employee contributions for health care and health care premiums and for retirement benefits, allowing some additional funding to go back to programs. Without having those changes, the alternative will unfortunately have to be layoffs, probably.
As we heard through the campaign from both then candidate Walker and candidate Barrett, the state is in a tough budget bind. Are these cuts necessary? Aren't they necessary?
These cuts are not necessary. Certainly, cuts are necessary, and when the Democrats were in control, we made the deepest cuts in the history of the state, but we did it while preserving the essential investments that we need, like our educational system, which is our constitutional obligation, and our social safety net, because we wanted to make sure that we were not putting us backwards in terms of our economic recovery. This budget will do just the opposite. When the governor talks about tools for local government, what he's talking about is eliminating the ability for employees to collectively bargain so that they won't be able to get fair wages, they won't have safe working conditions, and as a consequence, places like our hospitals are going to suffer.
Okay, let's talk about the restriction of the entrance to the Capitol. What have you seen, and who is right in this battle?
Well, the court has said very clearly that the Walker administration is wrong and they are unlawfully denying access to the Capitol. I myself have not been able to get into the Capitol several times, and nor have I been able to get my family members in, my constituents in. It's absolutely wrong, it's unconstitutional, and it's not the Wisconsin way. We should debate openly. These have been peaceful protests. There hasn't even been, theft of people's personal property. There's simply no justification for closing the people's house to democracy.
Your thoughts on that, Representative?
There has been real concern that the volume of folks that have been in the Capitol has been a hazard for those individuals. Yes, it's been peaceful, and I'm very grateful for that. But I understand that we do need to ensure the safety of the folks that are both there to protest as well as the folks that are there working. I understand that we've all been asked to take care of having our IDs and those kinds of things to make sure of that. My constituents that have come to see me haven't had any issues in getting in to see me in the Capitol. So I think it's a matter of managing the situation. My background in the Capitol has had a lot to do with preparedness, and just looking at the volumes of folks that have been there. I think we're on the right track. Access is available for those that have business in the Capitol.
Well, I'm sorry, I just cannot let that pass, because it's simply not the case that the Capitol is open. And I'm delighted that you haven't had any difficulties getting your constituencies in, but I have, repeatedly. I've tried to get people that have come to visit me from my district that have appointments into the Capitol and been denied. I've tried to bring my husband into the Capitol and been denied. I've tried to get in the Capitol with my legislative ID card, and I've been denied multiple times. And so it is not open.
Let me ask you this question, the minute we have left, and this comes from a viewer, and we've been hearing a lot from our viewers on both sides of this issue. And she wanted me to ask you, would legislators and the governor, would you consider cutting your pay in order to help this budget?
Yes, and in fact, our pay is tied into the state salary scale, so we will be paying more for health care and pensions. And we did that, in fact, in the last budget. The Democrats voted to freeze our pay. We took furlough days, even though the Constitution doesn't allow us to cut our pay.
And actually what the Republican caucus did last time, we gave back the money from our furlough days, and we also turned back the raise that was given to all the legislators, the 2% raise last time.
Okay, we hope that answered our viewer's question.
Thank you, representatives.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
coming in and talking about this.
We'll be right back.